let's I guess open up with talking about Johnson. It seems like he's really started to find himself here lately. Um, you like him off the bench, or do you see him maybe working his way into the starting lineup,
Um, you
changing
know,
things up a little bit?
at right now, I would see him still coming off the bench until he establishes a consistency of effort, which he, of course, has done well the last couple weeks, including this week. A few days of work we've had this week. So right now, I don't see any change. Of course, some things could change between today and Friday, but I don't foresee it at this moment. But he finally showed the player that we felt or that we signed, and that's kind of what we've been expecting really all year. Of course, he started our first game, but just kind of you know. Struggled, I think, to adjust to the everyday expectation of Division I life, and that a lot of just if you could talk, if I could talk to kids, high school kids, if I could get every kid in the state of Mississippi together and tell them that that's what they don't understand. They think, oh, I can go play here or go play there. First of all, they have no idea. I used to hear that when I was at Jones, Heath. Oh, well, he may not be good enough to play at Southern Miss, but I know he can play for Jones. You don't know how good you got to be. And I'm not just talking about basketball, to play junior college basketball or college basketball, even for that matter. And so that's a misconception. And then, but what I mean by an everyday guy at Division I, you got to be. Your day is pretty much eaten up every day. I mean, you got individual skill development. You've got strength training with you. So you're gonna have the strength coach barking at you. You're gonna have the skill coach barking at you. You're gonna have the academic coordinator barking at you. You're going to have the assistants barking at you to get in and get extra film work done. You're going to have the head coach barking at you at practice. I mean, it's just all day long. And if you're not strong-willed, you're not committed to all that, then it's tough. And it's taken him a little, and I use the term maturity. Nothing bad. He's no different than a lot of other guys that I've coached. But just that everyday effort. And we have I know you've heard this from me about, we have a standard here that we're not going to lower for him or for anybody else. But to his credit, he's finally figured that out. I better put out during the week. At first, I think he wanted to kind of halfway do it during the week, and then thinking that he was going to play on Friday and Saturday. It doesn't work like that. You better put out during the week if you're going to earn the right to play Friday and Saturday. So once he's kind of figured that out, we've started seeing, and of course he played really well this past weekend. So I was real proud of that, especially Saturday. So we need him. He could be that boost in the arm we need down the stretch, because we are so close. But he could be that boost down the stretch here that hopefully can get us in that conference tournament. And of course, we get in the conference tournament, who knows what can happen, but that's our goal. But we got some work to do there. But I'm very proud of him. But I don't foresee him, to answer your question. I gave some context on it, but I don't foresee him, Heath, starting at this moment. But I do see him playing big minutes like he did Saturday.
Is it too early right now to do any tinkering with your starting lineup? Do you feel like you're going to be doing anything like that, or you
No,
still
I
kind of
would.
like
Let me
where you're
tell you
at right
something.
now?
No, I don't. I think it's under constant evaluation. And again, what I saw on Saturday were certain groupings out there that seemed to be more effective than others, if that makes what maybe echo when I feel what you're saying, and that was noticed. And of course, I think it's a little premature. But if we get these last 8, we're at an 8-game season now. We got 4 weeks left to make or break, and so anything's on the table. But I did like some certain they took, and not just me. I think our coaching staff took great notice of certain combinations that we had out there the other day that looked good on both ends of the floor, not just the offensive end.
You talked a little bit in the game. It seemed like Pinkney just couldn't get it going, didn't play much, fouled out. for a young guy like that coming into this, how hard is it for him to turn around from something that happened to him like that on
Yeah, I think
Saturday?
he was the victim of he had a couple of tough calls go against him, and they were like both his his first and second, and of course his fourth and fifth were just like right behind each other. And I thought that he just had there were some tough breaks. He was victim of some. I'm not going to say I can't say questionable officiating, but it was a victim of some tough calls that could have gone maybe the other way. But I know he first of all, the type of young man that he is, he's a very positive, happy young guy, good guy, and he's played enough basketball. He knows what that is, and he'll bounce right back. Has had 2 good days of practice, to be honest with you.
But I spoke to you last week about you talked about getting more shots up. You want players to take more shots. Do you feel like you saw a little more of that, or were there still some areas where you
I
still want
saw
them
us
to
play
shoot
with a
some
little
more?
more. I saw us play with, again, I think we shot right at 50% again on Saturday. Our offensive efficiency has been good. Uh, I still like, and it's funny you mention that because that's something that we really worked with Drain on this morning of getting out there, working with our guards, of getting the basketball in transition before the defense gets set, and they can sit on our offense or sit on him. And we actually showed him and some of the other players, particularly our point guards, some film where literally the teams that are guarding him are in no help; they're just sitting on him. So the time to get him the basketball are in those kind of gray area phases, like transition offense, and of course any type of transition, I should say, offensive rebounding and kicking the ball back out to him if he doesn't get it, that type thing. So we've got to be very conscious of trying to get him some touches and telling him again today, sprint down there, get your feet, hands ready to catch, and guards be on the lookout for him because those are good opportunities for him to score. So yeah, but I thought they did. Heath, after watching the film, I thought we played more aggressively offensively. I thought we played with more freedom, more confidence. And I think Justin Johnson is a good example of that.
You talked right there about the last half of the season, want to make the tournament. Do you have to lean on Drain, Stevenson, and those guys to really help push the point across to these young guys about this is the time now?
Well, you should, I mean, let's just be honest, at this point of the year, and I don't care what sport it is. I mean, Buccaneers are going to be relying on Tom Brady. Of course, Mahomes has played enough now, and those veterans for the Chiefs, but we're the same way, Tyler Stevenson and of course, Drain and those guys that have kind of been through the wars before. We need those guys to step up my experience has been that the better player, your best players and your best teams are going to be at their best this time of year. And I always say, you heard me say it last year, I want Southern Miss, one of the steps in our process, and we are laser focused on our process. We know what it takes. Is we want to play meaningful games in February. We don't want to be out of the mix already by the time we get February. So we got 4 series left. They're huge. We're right in the mix. Our goals are all still in front of us. Of course, we've got to earn our way in there. And as we said, playing people to 1 or 2 or 3, unfortunately, doesn't get it. They don't come back at the end and say, man, they sure played a lot of people close. Well, it doesn't work like that. And so every possession is critical. Every possession on both ends, offensively, defensively, matters. But we have to have Ladavius is our only scholarship senior. He and Clay Witherspoon are only 2 seniors on the team. Nobody has close to the game experience that Drain has, not even close. So yeah, we need him to step his game up. And I think he will. He's a great kid. There's nobody wants to better than he is. A high character, one of my favorite players I've ever coached. But we need him. And of course, it's funny to say that in a little bit of a way with Tyler Stevenson, because Tyler came as a walk-on and barely got on the floor as a freshman. And then, of course, last year really kind of came out of his burst on the scene, I should say, and then now, of course, is one of the top 5 players in the league, and so we need him. But Drain especially, because Drain, Artur, even though Artur's somewhat like Tyler in the sense that he's got, he's a young guy. He's only really a sophomore, but he's got as much experience, really, Division I as anybody else on the team. We got to have those guys step up for us and make plays at the end of games for us to help us win.
All right, we got Tyler here.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good, bud. Talk about that game, La Tech. How you played so well. You played really well lately. What do you have to do as a leader on this team to, I don't want to say get everybody else on your level, but continue to push everybody? What do you have to do that?
I just keep having to push my teammates in practice, make sure that they're going hard, make sure they're locked in. When they miss shots, and when I make sure they don't get down on themselves like they do with me when I'm missing shots. They make sure I'm still locked in. They make sure I'm not getting down on myself. I just try to keep their head up, as well as them keeping my head up.
It seemed like early in the season you were having some problems, maybe doing too much on the court. Have you really simplified things later on? Because it seems like now when you get the ball, you're just going up. You're so much more fluid than you were earlier in the season.
Exactly.
Was it that, or were you just having to get some rust off?
I had to kind of get some rust off, but for the main part, I had to just stop thinking and just play and just have the confidence in myself to know that I can do it. And my teammates kept having confidence in me. So that pushed me to even have more confidence in myself, as well as the coaching staff having confidence in me. So it was really just a confidence thing, getting it back.
You talked about, confidence. You talked about free throw shooting. Your free throw shooting has even gotten better. What is that another thing where you just spend a lot of time in the gym after? What's gone into that?
Oh yeah, I have some managers. They'll stay with me after practice so I can get up an extra free throws, and sometimes before practice, just really getting that extra work in the free throw line because I know I'm gonna be getting fouled a lot. So yeah, just really putting in that extra work.
Coach Ladner talked about getting Draymond more involved early in the process, early in the offensive process. He said y'all worked on it, getting the ball down the court. Is that something that you think that is definitely going to help this offense, is getting him the ball earlier? And how do you feel about that?
I definitely think that's gonna help. Once Drain gets going, that's gonna make everything flow. It's gonna if he gets the hitting shots, it's gonna open things up for other guys. Open things down low in the post for other shooters as well. So yeah, it would be really good to get Drain going and find him early, get him going really early.
I guess the last question, there's only one senior on this team that's playing a lot, of course, a Spoon, but on the floor, do you consider yourself a vocal leader on this team right now, or are you more of a guy who is a lead by example?
I'd say I'm more leading by example guy. Guys see me going hard, so that makes them want to go hard. I'm going hard in practice and everything, just giving it everything. I need to become a better vocal leader as well too, though. I need to have both aspects too.